Turning now to a man who tells the African-American story through his unique works of art. Internationally acclaimed artist Charles Bibbs uses layers of acrylic paint and ink to create art that conveys spirituality, majesty, dignity, strength, and grace. He's in Detroit for a show of his works at Sherwood Forest Art Gallery. I'm pleased to welcome Charles Bibbs to American Black Journal. It's great to see you.
It's great to be here.
Yeah, so let's start with where you're doing this. Sherwood Forest is where I call home here in the city of Detroit. So
Amazing.
I'm
Okay.
doubly honored that that you're here on the show as well. So
Yes.
yeah, let's talk about your work. One of the things I always ask artists is about the medium they work in. As we said, they're paint and acrylics, and what kind of meaning that medium has for the artist and the kinds of messages they're trying to convey to
the medium allows me to do a lot of things.
Yeah.
A wide range of creativity. My background naturally is in Los Angeles, which is a film town. And my inspiration basically came out of the TV industry. And the things that I learned from my parents allowed me to advance in a lot of creative ways, and not knowing that I had this calling, okay, because my father from an old school, okay, says the only thing he knows about an artist is a starving artist. So right away, I had to deal with that reality. But because of our society and the way it works, I was able to do some amazing things in terms of helping other artists become not famous but successful. And those are the things those are qualities that we try to instill in our movement in the art industry.
So talk about some of the stories that you're trying to tell with the art that you're creating.
Yes, and that's about life in general, okay, particularly the African American life. Okay, because that's the only thing that I know about, so that's the only thing that I'm going to paint about. So I gravitated from that from an early age. During the Black Panther movement in California, was very active during my college days, and I used my art to accentuate that activity. And from one thing just kept leading to another, and then I learned in corporate America how to make money at it. So, and that's where that success element versus fame got into my mix and what I do for my society of artists.
Yeah. Go back to the 60s and the things that were going on. How much did that time not just influence your art then, but has it sort of influenced you across time?
Oh, right. Everything that's happened in our society, particularly with African Americans, that's what fed me. That's what kept me energized. That's what kept me active. That's what kept giving me the call to communicate through the art. And so I've done that all my life, and I continue to do it today. You know, and the power of the visual image when in the homes, when we trying to get images that look like us in black homes, is a powerful thing, especially when you have kids growing up in the home. So we try to spread this energy everywhere we go. And like at the Sherwood Art, what we're doing this weekend, and the day is the last day of that event, we are really pressing forward and showing the advantage and the privilege of participating in your culture when it comes to art. Because for many years, we only had an opportunity to go to a museum and just look at this art, and and knowing good and well you couldn't take it home. But now we've changed that reality. Now we made it possible for all of us to enjoy it.
You know, I always enjoy art that features people, right? As opposed to objects. It speaks more to me. Talk about some of the people we see in your paintings.
Well, I do representation. I don't do anybody in particular.
Right, but where do they come from?
But I tell stories. Well, they come from my own experience and what I see in life, and what I feel that it's important for me to tell and show and share with my community, which is the African American art community. You know, and that's my calling. And that's what God gave me to do, and that's what I do.
Yeah.
And I try to do it, but right now, at my age, legacy has become more and more important. So traveling around the country to places like the Sherwood Forest allows me to communicate and share that with artists that never even thought it was possible, okay, that you can make a living by supporting your own culture, okay? And I've proven that that's a possibility. You can do that, and you can be successful at it. Yes.
Yeah. So one of the things that comes across to me in a lot of your paintings is a kind of gentility of the people. I wouldn't say they look happy, but they do look satisfied and content.
Yes.
In a way that's important. Is there something you're trying to convey with that expression that's on so many of their faces?
Well, you have a wide awareness, and that I mean, you said that perfectly. But that's basically what it is, and I like to see people reactions to the work. When they can take something out of the work and says, that reminds me of my mother, that reminds me of my parents. When I hear things like that, that tells me that I'm right on point in terms of my experience and sharing my experience. And it's amazing in our culture, we have so much alike. Okay, if I told you about my childhood, you can always bring out a correlation in your own childhood.
Sure.
Yeah, I can verify. I give you a high five on that. You know,
I remember
lived
that too, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So we have a uniqueness in our culture, and that's what makes it so exciting for me to represent my people in that way.
Yeah. What about the future? What do you hear from young artists about the challenges they face and how maybe they're the same or different from what you face?
I see in our culture is that our youth they idolize famous people, and they want to be that. But I try to tell them that, you know, fame is one thing. Fame is like a gift. You know, it's something that you can pursue to be, but not necessarily see it as a failure if you don't get famous. There's a level of success. Okay, and I always give the analogy of a famous person getting an award versus an unfamous person.
Yeah.
They're getting the same award, and they have achieved basically in life the same thing.
things, yeah.
So, but there's more chance that you can be successful than it is fame.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then at the same time, success means you've been able to enjoy all the things that this country has to offer. Buying a home, buying a car, sending your kids to college. For an artist to be able to do that, that's amazing, and that's what I try to achieve in a lot of my mentees, I call them.
Yeah.
And through my nonprofit, I have over 2,000 members across the United States that are looking for me to pass on those legacies, those words of encouragement.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, Charles Bibbs, it's great to have you here in Detroit, and wonderful to have you here on American Black
Well,
Journal.
I just want to remind everybody that today is the last day.
Yeah.
The Sherwood Forest, and we're going to be there, and we're looking for everybody to come out there and share the joys of African American art.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for inviting me.